Have you ever sensed a subtle yet significant alteration in the dynamics of your long-term relationship? That initial blaze of affection and respect might, over the years, morph into something resembling annoyance, detachment, or even animosity. This is a reality faced by numerous couples who have journeyed through life together, and it's not some inexplicable phenomenon. Instead, there are concrete, logical explanations for why a woman's sentiments toward her spouse can transform as time progresses. More importantly, this video will illuminate how couples can proactively confront these challenges, fostering a more robust and gratifying connection. Stick with us until the very end, because the insights we're about to share could be the very catalyst for revitalizing your marriage and rekindling the initial spark that drew you together. In this video, we are going to reveal the practical reasons behind this shift in feelings and offer pathways to a more fulfilling partnership. If you're watching this video, comment "interesting" below. Now, before we delve into these crucial insights, I'd be immensely grateful if you could show your appreciation by giving this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us continue disseminating these vital life lessons. If you haven't already joined our community, I highly encourage you to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you never miss out on our future content. If you find this video resonates with you, please leave a 1 in the comments. If, for any reason, it doesn't quite hit the mark, a 0 would be valuable feedback, helping us tailor our content to better serve you. Let's embark on this journey of understanding together. Moving on, let's talk about one of the most fundamental reasons for a potential drift in marital sentiments: the sheer progression of time coupled with a natural evolution of expectations. When two individuals first unite in love, their connection is often vibrant, filled with enthusiasm, and brimming with novelty. In those initial stages, they tend to perceive the best in each other, readily accepting their partner's individual quirks and imperfections as endearing aspects of their unique charm. Their bond is fueled by optimism and idealistic visions of the future they will construct together, often believing that their love will be an unwavering force capable of overcoming any hurdle. However, as the years accumulate, these romanticized ideals may begin to collide with the often unvarnished realities of everyday existence. Responsibilities multiply, external pressures such as career demands, financial obligations, or the profound task of raising children take precedence, and the relationship that once seemed to flow effortlessly may now necessitate conscious and deliberate nurturing. As individuals mature, they inevitably undergo transformations, molded by their experiences, challenges encountered, and the natural trajectory of personal growth. Sadly, not all couples navigate this evolution in a synchronized manner. Some forge an even deeper connection, their bond strengthened by shared experiences, while others find themselves gradually diverging, unable to reconcile the alterations in their personalities, needs, and aspirations. Comment "evolving bond" if you relate to the impact of time on relationships. In the early chapters of a relationship, a woman might have deeply admired her husband's drive and ambition, his spontaneous spirit, or his knack for injecting humor into serious situations. She might have found his little idiosyncrasies rather sweet, perhaps his habit of leaving his socks astray or his penchant for recounting the same anecdotes repeatedly. Yet, with the passage of time, what once appeared charming can morph into a source of considerable annoyance. That very ambition she once lauded might now feel like an unhealthy obsession with work, leaving her feeling emotionally neglected and relegated to the sidelines. His once endearing lightheartedness might now be perceived as a lack of responsibility or an unwillingness to engage with important matters with a necessary seriousness. Even those small, seemingly inconsequential habits that were once easily dismissed might now feel like persistent irritations, grating on her nerves day after day. As individuals undergo these personal metamorphoses, so too do their expectations regarding love, partnership, and emotional fulfillment. Early in a marriage, a woman might have been more tolerant of a spouse's less than stellar communication skills, his reluctance to actively participate in household chores, or his emotional unavailability. However, as she matures and gains a clearer understanding of her own needs and desires, she may begin to anticipate more from the relationship. This isn't solely about the equitable distribution of shared responsibilities. It also encompasses a yearning for greater emotional depth, genuine connection, and a sense of true partnership. Many women reach a point in their lives where they no longer possess the same level of patience for unresolved conflicts or minor annoyances that once seemed insignificant. They crave a relationship that feels truly reciprocal, where they consistently feel heard, valued, and deeply understood. Comment growing expectations if you've experienced a shift in what you seek from your marriage over time. Furthermore, broader societal shifts and personal experiences profoundly influence how women perceive their roles within a marriage. In previous eras, many women were socialized to accept certain power dynamics in relationships, whether it was the husband assuming the role of primary decision-maker or the wife bearing the lion's share of household and emotional labor. However, as societal perspectives evolve and women gain greater autonomy and independence, many begin to critically reevaluate what they truly desire out of life and whether their current marital arrangement aligns with those deeply held aspirations. If they experience a sense of stagnation, feel consistently unheard, or are emotionally unfulfilled, the feeling of disconnection from their spouse can deepen considerably. Ultimately, the passage of time itself is not the root cause of these marital shifts. Rather, it is how individuals navigate that shared journey through time together. Couples who actively prioritize nurturing their relationship, adapt to the inevitable changes that life brings, and consciously strive to grow in alignment with one another often succeed in maintaining a strong and vibrant connection. However, for those who neglect to address the gradual shifts in expectations, emotional needs, and personal growth, the consequence is frequently a widening emotional chasm that can become increasingly difficult, if not impossible, to bridge. This time, let's discuss about the evolving roles within a marriage and the potential for an imbalance of responsibilities to contribute to a woman's growing dissatisfaction. As women mature, they often develop a more acute awareness of the shifting dynamics within their relationship, particularly concerning the distribution of labor within the household. While in the initial stages of marriage, responsibilities might have appeared to be evenly divided or at least manageable over time, many women find themselves bearing a disproportionate share of the workload, both physically and, perhaps even more significantly, emotionally. Comment uneven workload if you've noticed a shift in the balance of responsibilities in your relationship. Women are frequently expected to seamlessly juggle a multitude of demanding roles, from excelling in their careers and managing household finances to the intricate tasks of raising children, overseeing their education, maintaining the home's upkeep, and, crucially, ensuring the emotional well-being of the entire family unit. Even in contemporary relationships where men are often more actively involved in domestic life than in previous generations, there often persists an underlying, sometimes unspoken, expectation that the woman will be the primary caregiver, the central organizer of family life, and the unwavering emotional pillar of the household. This often invisible yet absolutely critical labor, frequently referred to as emotional labor, encompasses a vast array of tasks, from remembering birthdays and scheduling crucial doctor's appointments to mediating conflicts between children and meticulously managing the family's often complex social calendar. In some marriages, this imbalance becomes even more pronounced as children mature and begin to gain greater independence. While one might logically assume that parenting duties would naturally lighten as children become more self-sufficient, the reality for many women is that their role often undergoes a transformation rather than a diminishment. Instead of primarily tending to their children's basic physical needs, they now often take on new and equally demanding responsibilities, such as providing guidance through emotional struggles, offering academic support and encouragement, and assisting with crucial career planning, often while simultaneously managing the needs of aging parents and navigating the demands of their own professional lives. If her husband has maintained a relatively passive stance in these multifaceted areas throughout their marriage, the contrast can become starker, and she may begin to experience a profound sense of exhaustion, both physical and emotional, and a growing sense of frustration. A significant source of resentment can take root and flourish when a woman feels that she is shouldering the vast majority of these responsibilities single-handedly, while her husband remains either unaware of the extent of her efforts or simply disengaged from actively participating. In some instances, men might mistakenly assume that because they are the primary financial provider, their contribution is sufficient, failing to recognize the immense mental and emotional toll that the cumulative weight of these responsibilities places on their wives over time. This dynamic can gradually cultivate a growing disconnect between the couple. A woman who once felt intimately connected to her husband may gradually begin to feel as though she is navigating the complexities of life as a largely independent entity within the confines of the marriage. Comment emotional burden if you've ever felt the weight of managing everything on your own. The sheer emotional burden of maintaining the household's smooth operation, providing care for children, excelling in a career, And often managing the well-being of extended family members can become utterly overwhelming when there is a noticeable lack of genuine partnership in these shared responsibilities. As a result, a woman may start feeling profoundly undervalued, consistently unseen in her efforts, or simply unappreciated for the immense amount she contributes to the family's overall well-being. The cumulative weight of managing it all can gradually erode the emotional connection she once cherished with her husband, making her feel increasingly distant from him. If this imbalance is left unaddressed and allowed to persist, it can inflict lasting and potentially irreparable damage on the fundamental structure of the relationship. Women who consistently feel unsupported in these crucial areas of life may begin to withdraw emotionally from the marriage, investing more of their precious time and energy into their children, their careers, or their own personal pursuits, effectively disengaging from their marital connection as a form of self-preservation. In the most unfortunate scenarios, a woman may reach a point where she realizes that she experiences greater happiness or a deeper sense of peace when her husband is not in her immediate presence, signaling a significant and potentially irreparable fracture in the foundational bonds of the relationship. This evolving dynamic, characterized by a perceived or actual imbalance of responsibilities, stands as one of the primary reasons why many women, particularly those in long-term marriages, find themselves questioning their overall happiness and sense of fulfillment within the confines of the relationship. It powerfully underscores the paramount importance of open and honest communication, a genuine commitment to shared responsibilities, and the consistent expression of mutual appreciation in ensuring that both partners feel truly valued and adequately supported within the marital partnership. Without this crucial balance, resentment can quietly accumulate over time, like a slow-growing poison, leaving a once loving and vibrant marriage strained and weakened under the heavy weight of unspoken expectations and persistently unacknowledged labor. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment valuable insight below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. The reasons why long-term marital satisfaction can shift are complex, but understanding them is the first step towards building a stronger connection. Before we continue to explore more of these crucial factors, make sure you take a moment to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Give this video a like if it's resonating with you, and share it with anyone you think might benefit from this discussion. Your engagement helps us reach a wider audience. Comment "wonderful" if you're enjoying this video and finding these insights helpful. Now, let's delve into another significant aspect that can contribute to a woman's evolving feelings towards her husband as they age: dissatisfaction within the intimate relationship. Sexual intimacy is frequently a vital component of a robust and fulfilling marriage. It functions not only as a physical connection between partners, but also as a powerful emotional and psychological link that reinforces feelings of closeness, mutual trust, and deep affection. However, as time inevitably marches forward, a multitude of factors can converge to cause a decline in intimacy, leaving one or both partners feeling emotionally unfulfilled, disconnected, or even rejected. Comment "declining intimacy" if you've noticed changes in this area of your relationship over the years. For many women, physiological transformations brought about by the natural aging process, hormonal fluctuations, or certain health conditions such as menopause can significantly impact their desire for and experience of intimacy. Decreased estrogen levels, for instance, may lead to a reduction in libido, vaginal dryness, discomfort during intercourse, and an overall sense of fatigue, all of which can understandably dampen a woman's interest in physical intimacy. Furthermore, external stressors that often accumulate over time, such as work-related pressures, demanding caregiving responsibilities for children or aging parents, or persistent emotional burdens, can further diminish a woman's interest in and capacity for physical intimacy. On the other hand, men also experience shifts in their sexual health and behavior as they age. Some men may face decreased testosterone levels, erectile dysfunction, or a reduced ability to engage in intimacy in the same way they did in their younger years. In other instances, they might unintentionally become emotionally distant from their wives, perhaps becoming overly preoccupied with work or, unfortunately, taking their partner's consistent presence for granted, leading to a neglect of their wife's crucial emotional and physical needs. When a husband no longer actively expresses affection through small, meaningful gestures, engaging in deep and meaningful conversations, or initiating physical closeness, his wife may begin to feel increasingly emotionally isolated within the marriage. As intimacy dwindles, a woman might start to feel undesirable, unappreciated, or simply disconnected from her husband on a fundamental level. If her emotional and physical needs consistently go unmet for an extended period, she may begin to experience feelings of frustration, profound loneliness, or even simmering resentment towards her spouse. These negative emotions can gradually erode the very foundation of love and companionship upon which the marriage was initially built. Comment unmet needs if you've ever felt your emotional or physical needs weren't being met in your relationship. Furthermore, a lack of intimacy doesn't just confine its negative impact to the bedroom. It often permeates other crucial aspects of the relationship. The absence of affectionate touch, playful banter, or shared moments of vulnerability can create a significant emotional gap between partners, leaving both feeling increasingly estranged from one another. Without open and honest communication and a mutual, concerted effort to actively rekindle intimacy, the relationship may continue to suffer, leading to even greater emotional distance and overall dissatisfaction for both individuals involved. Ultimately, maintaining a healthy level of intimacy in a marriage requires ongoing effort, a deep understanding of each other's evolving needs, and a genuine willingness to adapt to those changes as they occur. Honest and open conversations about desires, concerns, and overall emotional well-being can be incredibly helpful in allowing couples to navigate the inevitable challenges that arise in this sensitive area. Seeking professional guidance from therapists or counselors who specialize in relationship issues, exploring new and creative ways to connect with each other, or simply making a conscious and consistent effort to show appreciation and affection can go a long way in restoring the emotional and physical closeness that serves to strengthen the marital bond and keep it vibrant over the long term. Comment rekindling intimacy if you and your partner have found successful ways to maintain intimacy over the years. This time, let's discuss about the detrimental impact of unresolved conflicts and a breakdown in effective communication on the health and longevity of a marriage. One of the most prevalent reasons why marriages begin to deteriorate over time is a fundamental breakdown in communication, particularly as the relationship settles into a comfortable and seemingly stable routine. In the initial, often exhilarating stages of a relationship, both partners typically make a significant effort to actively connect with each other, openly discuss their feelings, and work collaboratively to resolve any conflicts that may arise. However, as the years pass and the initial excitement and novelty begin to fade, couples can unintentionally fall into communication patterns that lack the crucial depth of meaningful and vulnerable conversations. When effective communication falters, even seemingly small issues that might appear insignificant at first are often left unaddressed and unresolved. These accumulated unresolved issues, whether they pertain to day-to-day concerns, unmet emotional needs, or ongoing disagreements about fundamental aspects of life, can quietly accumulate in the background, gradually growing into much larger and more complex problems that become increasingly difficult to ignore or resolve. Comment communication breakdown if you've experienced challenges in communicating effectively with your spouse. For women in particular, the feeling of being consistently unheard or profoundly misunderstood by their partner can be incredibly painful and damaging to the relationship. They may repeatedly bring up legitimate concerns, express their frustrations, or articulate their deep emotional needs to their partners, only to be met with responses that make them feel dismissed, invalidated, or even belittled. Over time, this persistent lack of validation can cultivate a deep sense of emotional detachment, as they may begin to retreat inwardly as a form of self-protection, shielding themselves from further disappointment and emotional pain. The feeling of not being truly seen or genuinely heard is often compounded by a partner's apparent indifference or a failure to acknowledge the true emotional weight and significance of the issue at hand. When this pattern of ineffective or dismissive communication becomes ingrained in the relationship dynamic, the vital emotional connection that once strongly bound the couple together begins to erode, leaving a void that is quickly filled by feelings of dissatisfaction, resentment, and a growing sense of alienation. This gradual emotional disengagement can manifest itself in a variety of ways. Initially, it might appear as a subtle disinterest in daily conversations or a noticeable decrease in the frequency and depth of attempts to connect on a deeply personal and emotional level. Over time, however, if the underlying communication issues remain unaddressed, this disengagement can deepen into a pervasive sense of resentment and even bitterness, particularly if the unresolved issues are never openly discussed or effectively resolved. Problems that might initially seem relatively minor such as a persistent disagreement over the equitable division of household chores or differing opinions on how to spend leisure time and financial resources, can grow exponentially in significance when they are repeatedly ignored, minimized, or dismissed as unimportant. As unresolved conflicts continue to build up without resolution, mutual trust within the relationship begins to erode, and the feeling of emotional disconnection becomes increasingly pronounced and difficult to reverse. Comment unresolved conflict if you have experienced disagreements that never seem to get fully resolved in your marriage. The range of unresolved issues that can plague a marriage can vary widely, encompassing everything from persistent financial strain and fundamentally differing approaches to parenting to more serious breaches of trust, such as infidelity or significant betrayals of confidence. In many unfortunate cases, these underlying problems are never fully and openly discussed or effectively resolved because the couple falls into a detrimental pattern of avoidance or outright denial. They may develop a fear of initiating difficult conversations, fearing that it will inevitably lead to further conflict and exacerbate existing tensions. Alternatively, they might attempt to convince themselves that the issue will somehow magically resolve itself over time without any direct intervention or open dialogue. However, this pattern of avoidance only serves to deepen the emotional divide between the partners as the unresolved problem continues to linger in the background, steadily chipping away at the very foundation of the relationship. For women, in particular, the persistent lack of emotional fulfillment that often results from poor communication and unresolved conflict can feel like a gaping void within the relationship. When their fundamental emotional needs for understanding, validation, and connection are not consistently met by their partner, they may experience a profound sense of disconnection and loneliness, even when they are physically present in the same space as their spouse. Over time, this pervasive emotional distance can evolve into a genuine sense of dislike or even contempt for the partner who once brought them joy and comfort, but now feels like a constant source of frustration, disappointment, or resentment. This widening emotional chasm can become so vast that the couple may struggle to even remember a time when they communicated openly, honestly, and affectionately with one another. The longer unresolved conflicts are allowed to persist without being effectively addressed, the more challenging it becomes to bridge the growing gap between the partners. What might have begun as a relatively minor disagreement can eventually transform into a deep and seemingly insurmountable emotional divide, leaving both partners questioning whether the relationship can ever truly be repaired and restored to its former vitality. Comment emotional void if you've ever felt a significant lack of emotional connection in your marriage. In these challenging situations, it is absolutely crucial to recognize that effective communication is not merely about the act of speaking. It encompasses the equally important skills of active listening, genuinely validating each other's feelings and perspectives, and, most importantly, working collaboratively as a unified team to find mutually agreeable solutions to the problems that threaten the stability and longevity of the relationship. Without this consistent and concerted effort to communicate openly, honestly, and with empathy, the relationship may sadly devolve into a source of chronic pain and frustration rather than a reliable source of unwavering support, comfort, and joy. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment insightful below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Now, moving on, let's explore the profound impact of personal growth and increasing self-awareness, particularly in women as they navigate the journey of aging. As individuals progress through life, they often undergo a deep and transformative process of personal growth, a journey that is frequently particularly prominent and impactful in women. Over time, the various challenges, significant milestones, and inevitable transitions that life presents act as powerful catalysts for profound self-discovery and a heightened sense of self-awareness. Women, in particular, may find themselves entering a significant period of reflection and critical reevaluation as they navigate the complexities of the later stages of their lives. For many, this period is characterized by a deep sense of introspection, often triggered by significant life-altering events or more subtle shifts in their overall perspective on life and their place within it. Comment personal growth if you've experienced significant personal changes as you've gotten older. One of the key transitions that can often provoke this profound sense of self-reflection is the significant shift from the intense demands of raising children to the experience of an empty nest. For many years, women may have dedicated a significant portion of their time, energy, and emotional resources to nurturing and supporting their children, a role that often provides a strong sense of purpose and deep fulfillment. However, as their children grow older, mature, and eventually become more independent, many women are left facing the fundamental question of what comes next for them in their own lives. The absence of the constant day-to-day responsibilities that come with active motherhood can feel like both a liberating release and a somewhat unsettling void. This newfound space often opens up an opportunity for deeper personal reflection on their own individual identity, separate and distinct from their roles as a mother, a spouse, or a primary caregiver. As the intense focus on their children's needs gradually diminishes, women may feel a compelling urge to reassess their own long-held goals, unfulfilled dreams, and deeply personal desires that may have been consciously or unconsciously put on hold for many years while they prioritize the needs of others. Comment empty nest if you've experienced this transition and its impact on your sense of self. Other significant life changes, such as a transition in their professional career, a shift in their overall lifestyle, or the emergence of new or rediscovered personal interests, can also serve as powerful triggers for significant personal growth and reevaluation. The growing realization that life is indeed finite becomes increasingly apparent as women approach midlife and beyond, often sparking a renewed desire to actively seek greater fulfillment and purpose in their lives, extending beyond what has traditionally defined them in their various roles. This burgeoning desire for meaningful change can manifest in a multitude of ways, ranging from pursuing an entirely new career path that aligns more closely with their current passions and values to actively exploring long-forgotten hobbies or discovering entirely new passions that they never had the time or opportunity to delve into earlier in their lives. As they actively move through this dynamic process of personal development, many women begin to discover new strengths, previously untapped talents, and deeply resonant interests that they simply never had the time or opportunity to fully explore during the earlier, more demanding phases of their lives. Comment rediscovering passions if you found new interests or reignited old ones as you've aged. Amidst this significant period of personal development and increasing self-awareness, many women also begin to critically reassess their existing relationships, particularly their long-term marital partnerships. They might start to question whether they are truly content and fulfilled in their current marriage or partnership, especially if they have spent a significant portion of their adult lives primarily prioritizing the needs and well-being of others, such as their children or their spouse. This fundamental shift in focus, turning inward to examine their own needs and desires, can often bring a newfound sense of clarity, revealing long-suppressed desires for greater personal independence, exciting new adventures, and a deeper sense of self-fulfillment that may have been dormant for many years. As they look inward and gain a clearer understanding of their own evolving needs and aspirations, they may feel the undeniable pull of a life that is uniquely their own, one where they are not solely defined by their traditional roles within the family unit or the confines of the marital relationship. Comment reevaluating relationships if you found yourself looking at your marriage differently as you've grown. The profound realization that they may have consciously or unconsciously sacrificed a significant portion of their own personal needs and desires for the well-being of others can sometimes lead to a sense of disillusionment or even regret. For women who have consistently dedicated their time, energy, and emotional resources to the care and well-being of their partners, there may be a growing sense of frustration if they perceive that their spouse has not undergone a similar process of personal growth or has not made a conscious and consistent effort to actively invest in the ongoing development and evolution of the relationship itself. They may begin to feel that their partner has remained stagnant in their own personal growth, leaving them to grapple with their own evolving needs and desires in relative isolation. This significant disparity in personal growth can create feelings of increasing emotional distance between the partners, especially if open and honest communication and consistent mutual support are lacking within the relationship. Ultimately, this crucial period of personal growth and increasing self-awareness is fundamentally about rediscovering oneself, confronting long-hidden desires and aspirations, and embracing a renewed sense of purpose and direction in life. Women may feel a powerful urge to break free from the perceived limitations of their past roles and actively explore new and exciting possibilities that align with their authentic selves. It is often a transformative time of reinvention and liberation, where women have the precious opportunity to cultivate their own individual happiness and fulfillment, independent of external expectations or traditional societal norms. This transformative process, while it can undoubtedly present its own unique set of challenges, can ultimately lead to a richer, more meaningful, and deeply fulfilling life. One that is more authentically aligned with their true selves and their most cherished aspirations. Comment embracing change if you've welcomed new experiences and changes in your life as you've aged. Now, let's shift our focus to another sensitive yet crucial aspect that can influence a woman's feelings in a long-term relationship: changes in physical appearance and the dynamics of attraction. While a truly deep and lasting relationship extends far beyond mere physical appearance, being profoundly rooted in emotional, psychological, and relational connections, it's undeniable that as women age, they often undergo significant physical changes that can impact their sense of self and their perceptions of their own attractiveness. These changes might encompass weight fluctuations, the appearance of wrinkles and fine lines, a shift in overall body shape and composition, and alterations in skin texture, among other natural signs of aging. While these physical transformations are an inherent and unavoidable part of the aging process, they can unfortunately trigger feelings of insecurity and dissatisfaction for many women. Comment physical changes if you've noticed how aging has affected your perception of your own attractiveness. These physical changes can often lead to a noticeable shift in how women view themselves, and it's not uncommon for them to grapple with feelings of diminished self-esteem as they gradually come to terms with these new realities. They may start to feel less physically attractive to their partner, especially if they perceive that the affection and admiration their spouse once readily showed has lessened or become less frequent over time. When a woman no longer feels as physically desirable or appreciated by her husband as she once did, it can have a profound and negative effect on her overall sense of self-worth and her confidence within the relationship. Moreover, women may also become acutely aware of whether their husbands, too, have experienced a change in their levels of expressed affection, attentiveness, or overall physical attraction towards them. When a husband no longer expresses the same level of appreciation or warmth as he did in the earlier years of their relationship, it can create a significant emotional distance between them. This perceived lack of attention and affirmation may manifest in subtle yet impactful ways, such as fewer compliments, less frequent physical closeness and intimacy, or a noticeable decrease in shared intimate moments. The absence of these positive affirmations and expressions of attraction can leave a woman feeling increasingly disconnected and emotionally isolated within the marriage. This emotional detachment can, in turn, intensify feelings of unattractiveness, leading her to question not only her physical appearance, but also her fundamental value and desirability within the context of the relationship. Comment feeling unattractive if you've ever worried about losing your partner's attraction as you've aged. When a woman perceives a lack of interest or affection from her partner, it can bring up deep-seated insecurities about her inherent worthiness of love and admiration. These concerns, while often initially stemming from observable physical changes, are frequently compounded by a lack of consistent emotional support and validation from a partner who might be preoccupied with his own life changes, personal challenges, or simply unaware of the depth of his wife's feelings. As a result, the delicate dynamics of attraction within the relationship can shift, sometimes becoming a complex and emotionally challenging issue to navigate effectively. In these sensitive situations, it's crucial to recognize that the emotional and psychological effects of aging on attraction are just as, if not more, important than the purely physical changes themselves. Understanding the delicate balance between expressing affection, maintaining open and honest communication, and nurturing a strong sense of self-worth in both partners becomes absolutely essential for maintaining a healthy and supportive relationship that can weather the inevitable changes that come with time. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment understanding attraction below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Now, let's explore how financial stress and the pressures of modern lifestyles can significantly impact a marriage, particularly as couples navigate the complexities of aging. Financial strain is undeniably one of the most significant and pervasive factors that can place immense pressure on a marital relationship. As couples grow older, they inevitably confront the increasing responsibility of securing their financial future, particularly when it comes to diligently saving for a comfortable and secure retirement. The looming prospect of potential future financial insecurity, coupled with the often daunting strain of managing present-day expenses and obligations, can lead to heightened levels of stress, anxiety, and even resentment within the relationship. On top of this, many couples face the added burden of managing various forms of debt, whether it be student loans accumulated from their education, the ongoing commitment of mortgage payments for their home, or the often accumulating balances on credit cards. Furthermore, the ever-rising costs associated with raising children can sometimes feel like an insurmountable financial hurdle, adding another layer of complexity to the couple's financial landscape. Comment financial stress if you've ever felt the weight of financial pressures in your marriage. When financial goals and priorities are not clearly aligned within a marriage, these fundamental differences in perspective and approach can unfortunately lead to a widening divide between the partners. It's not uncommon for couples to struggle with persistent disagreements about how money should be spent, how much should be diligently saved for the future, or the most prudent ways to invest their financial resources. One partner might naturally lean towards prioritizing present-day experiences or the acquisition of material possessions, while the other may be more strongly focused on achieving long-term financial goals, such as ensuring a secure retirement or making a significant purchase like a home. This fundamental misalignment in financial priorities can become a significant source of tension and frustration within the relationship, as each partner may feel consistently misunderstood or their individual priorities disregarded by the other. For women in particular, who often take on the significant responsibility of managing the family's day-to-day financial affairs, this tension can be particularly acute and deeply felt. Many women find themselves meticulously managing household budgets, diligently balancing bills, and constantly ensuring that there is enough money to adequately meet the diverse needs of their children, potentially aging parents, and the overall household. If they perceive that their partner is not equally contributing to the family's financial stability, whether through a lack of consistent income generation or a perceived failure to actively and responsibly manage the available financial resources, it can lead to powerful feelings of resentment, frustration, and a sense of being unfairly burdened. They may feel as though the entire weight of the family's financial pressures is disproportionately resting on their shoulders, creating a significant imbalance within the relationship that can be exceedingly difficult to overcome. Comment differing priorities if you and your partner have different approaches to managing finances. This financial divide can also extend to the significant emotional toll that chronic financial stress inevitably exacts on individuals and the relationship as a whole. Women who are already carrying the considerable burden of actively managing household finances may experience a profound sense of emotional fatigue as they strive to balance their professional lives, their numerous domestic duties, and the constant mental burden of worrying about the family's overall financial well-being and security. Over time, these accumulated stressors can unfortunately manifest in feelings of isolation, increased irritability, and a breakdown in effective communication between the partners, as both individuals struggle to adequately address their own needs and desires within the constraints of their financial situation, ultimately undermining the overall health and stability of the relationship. Furthermore, the persistent strain of financial pressures may also exacerbate other underlying issues that already exist within the relationship. As couples frequently argue over financial matters, they may begin to focus more intently on their fundamental differences in values and perspectives and less on the crucial emotional connection that originally brought them together. This negative shift in focus can lead to a decrease in intimacy, a gradual erosion of mutual trust, and intensifying feelings of resentment, ultimately jeopardizing the long-term stability and happiness of the marriage itself. Without open and honest conversations about financial concerns, the establishment of shared financial goals, and a unified vision for their financial future, the persistent stress of managing finances can unfortunately become a major source of division and conflict within the relationship, rather than serving as a tool for building a stronger, more cohesive, and mutually supportive partnership. Comment financial disagreements if money has been a source of conflict in your marriage. Now, let's discuss the fundamental human need for respect and equality within a marriage, particularly as women navigate the later stages of life. One of the most fundamental emotional needs for women in a marriage is the consistent feeling of being genuinely respected by their spouse. As women grow older and accumulate a wealth of life experiences, they often gain a deeper and more profound awareness of their own inherent worth and the manner in which they are treated by their partners. This heightened awareness becomes especially pronounced in the later stages of life, when the accumulated experiences of marriage, career, and personal growth come to the forefront of their consciousness. For many women, the desire to feel truly respected and valued within their marital relationship becomes even more crucial as they navigate the various complexities of aging, potential health challenges, and their own evolving personal goals and aspirations. Respect in this context extends far beyond mere politeness or superficial expressions of appreciation. It encompasses a deep and genuine acknowledgement of their efforts, a sincere recognition of their individuality as a distinct person, and a consistent validation of their emotional needs and deeply held desires. Comment need for respect if you believe respect is a cornerstone of a healthy marriage. In the context of a marriage, this means actively and attentively listening to their opinions and perspectives, genuinely honoring their decisions and choices, and consistently valuing their contributions to the relationship and the family unit. Whether those contributions involve managing the household, actively participating in raising children, or pursuing their own professional careers. When women perceive that their perspectives and contributions are consistently taken for granted, dismissed as unimportant, or outright ignored by their husbands, it can lead to a growing sense of emotional distance and a feeling of profound disconnection within the marriage. As they age, many women may also engage in a process of reflecting on their lives and critically assessing their overall sense of fulfillment within the context of their marriage. They begin to recognize the paramount importance of equality within the partnership, where both partners actively contribute and mutually support each other, not just in terms of financial stability or the completion of physical tasks, but also in the realm of emotional and mental partnership. If a woman consistently perceives a lack of genuine respect from her husband or feels that her role and contributions within the relationship are undervalued or unappreciated, it can understandably lead to feelings of frustration, simmering resentment, and eventually a significant emotional withdrawal from the relationship. This growing emotional distance is often accompanied by a deep longing for a more profound sense of connection, mutual understanding, and reciprocal appreciation. If the fundamental marital dynamic has gradually shifted over time, with the wife increasingly feeling less seen, less heard, or less appreciated by her husband, it can become exceedingly difficult for her to continue investing the same level of emotional energy and commitment into the relationship. Comment valuing contributions if you believe both partners' contributions should be equally valued in a marriage. The desire for mutual respect and genuine equality is not only critically important for a woman's overall emotional well-being, but also plays a fundamental role in fostering intimacy, building trust, and facilitating open and honest communication within the marriage. Furthermore, as women age and gain more life experience, they may develop a heightened sensitivity to prevailing societal attitudes towards aging and gender roles. They may feel even more strongly that they deserve to be treated with respect for the wealth of life experiences they bring to the table, and they may actively seek out relationships, whether they be romantic, familial, or social, that truly honor their inherent worth and value their unique contributions to the lives of others. In this later phase of life, it is absolutely essential for both partners within a marriage to recognize and deeply appreciate the unique strengths and potential challenges that come with the aging process, and to actively work together to ensure that mutual respect and a fundamental sense of equality remain central pillars of their enduring bond. When respect and equality are consistently present in a marriage, it nurtures a safe and supportive environment of emotional security where both partners feel genuinely safe, deeply valued, and intrinsically connected to one another. This strong foundation serves to strengthen the overall marriage and allows for continued personal and relational growth, fostering ongoing affection and ensuring that both partners can thrive in the later stages of their shared lives, secure in the knowledge that their emotional needs are being consistently met and their individuality is deeply respected. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment mutual respect below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Finally, let's explore the powerful influence of a woman's desire for change and new experiences as she ages. As women progress through the years, the innate desire for change and the allure of new experiences can become a particularly powerful and motivating force in their lives. Over the course of their adult years, they may have dedicated a significant amount of their time and energy to the demanding tasks of raising children, diligently building their careers, and capably managing the myriad responsibilities of daily life. However, as time inevitably passes and children grow older, eventually achieving greater independence, women often find themselves yearning for something more, something that extends beyond the established routines and familiar patterns that have defined much of their adult existence. This burgeoning desire for change can manifest in a multitude of ways, ranging from a deep longing for greater personal freedom and exciting new adventures to a profound need for continued personal growth, intellectual stimulation, and exploration of the world around them. Women may feel an intense and compelling pull to travel to new and exciting destinations, to acquire new skills and knowledge, or simply to step outside the comfortable confines of their established routines and embrace the unfamiliar and the unknown. These feelings often arise out of a growing and perhaps more acute realization that life is indeed finite, and that there is a vast array of experiences and opportunities to embrace beyond the familiar and the predictable. Women may begin to critically question their current life situation and wonder if they are truly living in alignment with their deepest passions, their core values, and their most cherished aspirations. They may crave the excitement and spontaneity of unexpected adventures, the intellectual thrill of learning something entirely new and challenging, or the deep satisfaction that comes from accomplishing something entirely different from their past achievements and established roles. As they thoughtfully reflect on the swift passage of time, the growing awareness of opportunities that might be slipping away can spark an urgent and compelling desire to actively make significant changes in their lives and embrace new experiences and opportunities that they might have once consciously put off or inadvertently overlooked in the busyness of their younger years. However, this very natural and powerful desire for new experiences can also, unfortunately, bring about tension and potential conflict within a long-term marital relationship if the partners are not aligned in their individual desires for change and growth. Comment desire for change if you feel a strong pull towards new experiences as you've aged. Remember, the journey of a long-term relationship is a marathon, not a sprint. Understanding these potential shifts in feelings is crucial for navigating the inevitable ups and downs. Thank you for joining us on this insightful journey. We hope this video has shed light on the practical reasons why women's feelings towards their husbands can evolve over time and, more importantly, has offered some valuable perspectives on how couples can proactively address these challenges to cultivate a stronger and more fulfilling relationship in their later years. Now, before you go, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and share it with anyone who might benefit from this discussion. Your support means the world to us. And don't forget to check out some of our other interesting videos on the channel for more valuable insights and discussions on relationships and personal growth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.